so sometimes it's like, well, we got to get out of the gym by a certain time or we can't get that post up tonight. For me, I think the hardest part is that I don't always see a lot of like strong women or things like that. Everybody's a runner.
Yes.
All the blogs I read, everybody's a runner.
Yeah.
And so I often wonder if I'm connecting with people in the sense of like weightlifting or training like that. I still haven't found like my niche there, to really be able to go after full-fledged like lifting and that kind of thing. I just feel like it would lose traction quickly. I don't know. So I'm still trying to find my voice in that sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can understand it just from watching Lauren's journey, and I would, from my perspective, I would just encourage you to just keep putting it out there. And as you said, like when you starting to change your health after quitting smoking, like you knew it wasn't going to be easy. And one of the things I've encouraged Lauren with her blog from the beginning is saying, like, I really feel that women need to know the truth, and that a lot of what's out there is spun certain ways and kind of like these lies of fitness, right? Like whether it's the running excessively, the eating, low calorie, or even just the training stuff that you see in Shape or the magazines.
Oh, yeah.
And that why women are being protected from the truth, I think is a real it's an obvious disservice, but thinking that they somehow can't take the hard truth that, like, look, this is going to take a solid investment of at least 3 years. You're going to have to train. You're going to have to really put in the time to learn how to train, how to lift, and it's going to be hard, but what's your alternative? Right. And so I think keep fighting the good fight, because I think the more women put out real training that really works and that builds real character, I think the better everybody will be.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope we find a better voice and just build a community around it. It would be great to just to know I've inspired like one person to try to get out on the floor and lift would be amazing. We'll get there. Like, I think once I have my personal training cert, I'll feel a little bit better with just kind of being more aggressive with it, to know I have the certification to kind of back what I'm saying.
Right.
Not that it does anything, but it helps so much on just how people perceive you, I think, especially when how are you an expert in this, until you have your certification. Not that it changes my knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, you're learning a lot through, like, I feel like I'm learning, but all my true educations come from having done it over all these years. So, like, that's where the true value is. But I totally agree with you that people do have this perception that the certification is everything. But I'm sometimes wonder if they truly understand what it is, because I don't feel like it really prepares you to train someone, really.
No, not at all. I think the ideas behind it are important, and do I really need to know what the name of every muscle in my body is? Probably not. I'm sure it'd be great, and I will, but that's a huge part of a lot of these certs, and it's minimal. It's what you can do. This is the minimal level to be able to tell people how to change their bodies. But, you walk into a gym, if you don't look the part, they're not going to hire you. They're not going to trust you to go tell people to go lift weights. But, luckily hopefully I have enough knowledge, and I can share with people, I tried it this way. It didn't work. It was terrible. Don't, don't be the girl that's doing high intensity workouts in the middle of the gym. Don't be that person.
Right. And I think it's interesting about watching like the different sects of the communities in like you have like the running community, and then you have like the yoga community, and then you have like the CrossFit community, and really there isn't this kind of exactly the way that that you train and that Lauren trains. It's this, you know, I don't really belong in CrossFit because I'm really calculated about the way I train, but I really don't just belong in any other single community. I really want to be strong, and I want to look good, and I want to build some muscle, and I want to be healthy and fit, but there isn't this sort of balanced women's, training strength culture yet.
No, I mean, like, I feel like any woman who sort of become infatuated with that typically gravitates towards the CrossFit. Because I think I think it's with the runners too. I think, sometimes it's harder to be a lone wolf. I mean, people want to have that sense of community, and, to kind of like train independently, you kind of have to, be a little more on your own. And I mean, we're both lucky that we have, partners that are, all about weightlifting, and we can go to the gym with them. But, Scott and I were actually long distance for, a long time before I moved down to Texas. And it was hard because, I mean, I'd always go to the gym alone, and you don't really connect with other women. You just don't see them there.
Yeah, I trained before Dave and I. He actually lived a little while from me, so I would train by myself. And before we started dating, I was a trainer at the gym as far as dance and stuff, so I'd see a lot of the girls I knew, and they'd see me out on the floor lifting. They never wanted to come lift with me. And so it was always me and like 3 bodybuilding guys at 10 o'clock at night, just going at it. And I became really good friends with those guys. And, if I had a question, I would just ask them, like, hey, I don't know how to use this. Can you show me? And, it just turned into, they just eventually just kind of were used to seeing me there. And so it wasn't such like an, oh my God, there's a girl on the floor. But I walked into the new gym we're at now, and people were like, what is she doing? Like, she's going to go pick up that much weight, and to me, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that women don't really have a category. I think men are still very surprised to see women out on the floor.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know last night I got a fist pump for doing, 110-pound rows from one of the guys. He was like, whoa, I can't believe you just did that. And I was like, hi, I don't know you. Like, would you do that to another guy? I don't know.
He was bonding with you.
So it's interesting. And hopefully, I think more and more, personal trainers, like the fitness on TV and celebrity fitness, more and more of them are starting to kind of say, hey, you need to weight train. It's important. They may not show it as much, but at least they mention it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have pretty long days from, spinning at 5:30 into lifting at night. So, can you sort of just take me through like an average day for you and how you kind of piece this all together? Because it sounds pretty spectacular that you're able to manage this all.
It's pretty intense. I think Wednesdays are my longest days. That's my 5:30 a.m. spin, so I have to be up at 4:50. I'm at the gym, 45-minute class, come home, make food, try to study, get ready for work. I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to leave for work until about 9 a.m. So off to work I go, study at lunch. I usually try to meal prep on Sundays so that I don't have to worry so much about my food. But in the morning, I'm always probably the same as Lauren, on my computer blogging, Pinteresting, trying to be active on Twitter and Instagram, and all those things just take so much time. And some days I'm like, I haven't been on like any of my favorite blogs yet today, and it's 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And other days, I can find some lulls and work into that. But, I I plan out my week early in the week. I know what I need to get done. A lot of times on my way home, I'll just like, anytime I think of an idea, I'll just like voice record it and just kind of try to go through as much as I can when I have time in the car, and just thinking about what I want to say. Sometimes I'll like write out an entire post, via my microphone.
Oh, that's cool.
Just to kind of, get through time. But so much of what we do is I try to get done on the weekends so that my week isn't as crazy. So
like
a lot of the
prepping and the pictures and stuff.
and cooking is all done on the weekends. We try to, just, Dave is a big help. He'll work through some pictures and stuff for me, so I'm not as busy. But, work is a full-time job, and you got to get through that. And then I drive 45 minutes each way, so get right into the gym. And then, dinner's yogurt for me. We don't have time to cook around here, so I make time for my priorities and I get them in. But yeah, work and then gym, come home, blog, spend some time with Dave and the cats and the dog, and go to bed. It's a full day.
That's definitely a full day.
So, but you make it work, and I don't watch TV. I don't dilly-dally with my time. I don't waste my time on unimportant, dare I say, people. But people will drain your time if you let them.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So, you let people know what your priorities are at work. They know if we're not busy, I'm not standing around and talking for 45 more minutes. Just because you don't want to go home yet because traffic is bad or something. I'm scootalooting out of there, Try to get to the gym. I always have a plan for what I'm going to do that day. I don't walk in and not have a plan.
So besides your the recipes that you make on the weekend, the food that you make during the week, is it pretty simple? Because one of the things that Lauren and I definitely are always just scratching our head over is, how can it take this much time every time for us to make food and clean everything every time? Because when you want to eat healthy, the truth is you have to cook your meals. You have to buy
nothing crazy. Like, we cook simple meals, but sometimes just like, it's like what you're saying, like, and that's probably why sometimes you just have a yogurt or something. We'll look at each other, we're like, how did that take so long? It was like a piece of chicken and a sweet potato, which we wrapped in aluminum foil, and then it's just insane. It really is.
Yeah, some kale, and all of a sudden we're like an hour deep.
Yeah, we haven't even eaten yet.
Right.
I try very hard to be aware of, if I'm going, I don't mind eating cold vegetables that were cooked before and just piling all that on a salad.
Yeah.
I actually like salad a lot, so it's helpful, but I'll make protein in the beginning, 2 or 3 servings of salmon, and I don't mind eating that cold. I don't heat it back up. It's great cold on a salad. Overnight oats in the morning, things like that, or quick eggs in the morning, nothing crazy. But if you wash and chop your vegetables all at one time, everything's dirty already. You might as well get through it. Like, if you're going to have kale and it needs to be cut, chop it up and put it in enough, serving size for 2, and just stack it up in the fridge in some glass containers. It's so much easier to just turn the stove on, dump it in there, and, maybe you make your sweet potatoes, cook them halfway through one night, and then cook them the rest of the way later on. Or, find things like making a hash, make double the sweet potatoes and cut them up into blocks, and then just throw them in as a hash the next day, heat it up quickly. Things like that make life a little bit easier. Double cooking spaghetti squash and having it, in 2 or 3 meals with just a different topping or a pesto. Yep. So just things like that, I think, help me a lot. I don't think food should ever be boring, and I don't think it should ever be, you should never have to think a packaged meal would be better than this. So just
No.
quick